I mean, they had a lot of opportunities as a team to demonstrate the shot calling almost on display for us. For example, reading the fact that, yeah, Seraph is going to be 1v1'd by Darshan. Well, let's send down Proxen and just upset the whole matchup. They've got double teleport. We can play the map. Really clever play from Envy to adapt like that. Unfortunately, not enough for them to be able to take the win. And as you can see now here in CLG, we're looking to see if they can adapt like that in more than just game and Champion Select as well. So,
find out.
Lissandra and Sivir now banned away, along with Azir and Ryze. No changes so far. That's Sivir taken away from Lot.
I find that surprising. I mean, I guess Sivir is obviously very strong, but I personally did not have it pegged as one of the kind of issues there. I guess they do not want to give it up, maybe feeling like Vlad's champion pool is a little bit more shallow, or perhaps that he's not comfortable on some of the other things, just the things that Sivir is allowing him to do and making him a lot more safe.
Yeah,
either way, it's going to be the instant karma lock-in.
Yeah, Victor ban on top of that, so 2 target bans from CLG, and as you said, the instant karma lock-in able to enable so much for CLG. Really just a strong pick.
Especially 5 mid lane bans here. You know, assuming you're considering the Lissandra as a mid lane ban, yes, it is a flex. It can go top 2. But regardless, a lot of mid lane bans here. Karma can be flexed to mid lane. Huhi is someone who could definitely play it. Afro as well, so it could go either way. At the same time, Proxen looking to perhaps lock in the Nidalee. A lot of praise has been thrown his way recently. We heard Laud yesterday talking about how good he really is now. We hear from Afro just talking about this guy's incredible, really in the right place, right time. Even in their losses to Immortals, I think he really shined through as probably the most impressive player in that series, even in the loss. So he was doing fantastic, and at the same time, Elise, Braum locked in, so that is going to be Hakuo and Proxen with their champions. CLG looking to lock in some of their own. They can wait on the jungle as always, or if you don't think there's anything contested, you can just lock that in now. So interested to see what they will do. Rek'Sai certainly an option for them. You know, they could kind of just trade junglers this time around, and anytime I see a Karma, I am kind of thinking, hey, maybe we're going to see a Graves. Hey, maybe we're going to see, you know, more of like a heavy AD carry that is kind of that hyper carry type style champion, because Karma is very much so an enabler. Especially if you put it in the mid lane.
We'll see if that ends up going to Huhi, if he takes more of a utility role as he used to do during the previous split and during MSI. Or if they'll flex it around to Afromu, as Lucian and Rek'Sai are locked in. Stixxay going to be moving all over the place, and Xmithie going to be moving all over the map.
And Karma Lucian is a brutal 2v2 lane to fight against, says Braum anything. So it's going to be tough for them if they do get in that 2v2 matchup. A lot of power in that, you know, early poke from both these champions. Aggressive plays can be dashing forward into the team, looking to take them out. Trundle going to be locked in, something that Seraph is no stranger with, has been playing it an absolute ton this season, has received some nerfs. Those HP nerfs can be pretty impactful. We'll see if they do come into play at all this time around. Caitlyn will be the choice for Laud. It's a safe AD carry, and is going to kind of shore up some of those weaknesses in lane.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how CLG decide to deal with that. They've still got 30 seconds left on the clock, so we're expecting a lot of shuffle. Still don't quite know where that Karma's going to go. This pick will determine it, whether it is going to be mid or support. And of course, Darshan will get the opportunity to try to counter-pick that Trundle on the opposite side. So defending champion CLG still looking for their top lane and potentially mid or support champions.
Would be big for them if they can close this out 2-0. Would be their first win of the season against a team that is higher in the standings than them. So it is going to be mid lane Karma. That is going to be flex. They have the Thresh for Afromu once again, and it's going to be Fiora in the top lane. So this is a matchup where Trundle can actually kind of beast on you early on. You do have very powerful just kind of brawling on the Trundle. You steal AD with your Q. You have very high sustain through your passive. Your ultimate stealing all these stats. So in the 1v1 early, expect Seraph to have the advantage. But if Darshan can actually get ahead, or even if he's not ahead, even if he's just even, but scaling towards the late game, once you start picking up a couple items, Fiora is ridiculous in the late game. Neither of them can cleanse each other's ults with the QSS. That got changed a while ago, and the amount of true damage that Fiora can put out is enormous. So Lulu going to be the lock-in here from Ninja, and Lulu now adds attack speed with her W, so that is something that's very powerful with the Whimsy. So you can really power up this Caitlyn with that solo lane Lulu, and we'll see how well LoD is going to be able to do, because a lot of the pressure, if you look at this as far as a team fighting squad, it's almost all on LoD's shoulders. He has to do a lot of the damage here, and at the same time, CLG looking much more to kind of split the map, spread it out, and try to split push this game.
Yeah, we've seen Envy play this sort of 4-1 style with 4 members of the team grouped up around each other while Seraph split pushes before. This time, though, putting all their eggs in the LoD basket. Again, patch 6.13, nerfs to Lulu's wave clear in the mid lane. Means that there is going to be some pressure on Envy to keep him alive. As the coaches shake hands, we are looking for you at home to share your team swag with us on Twitter. CLG fans, Envy fans, show off your jerseys, face paint, and team spirit by sending us your photos at LOL eSports. Remember to use the hashtag LOCKIN and send us the evidence that you are the biggest fan in NA. And I know most people are using their phones for other things right now, but that Charmander's not going anywhere. Just go ahead and show us how you LCS as we get into this game.
A Charmander might be going somewhere. You can't sleep on it. You got to catch it.
Charmander's like the way. They take their time.
Okay. Either way, we are locked in. We're moving into the game. And although Fiora is going to have a late game split pushing advantage, if Trundle can get ahead early, it may never get to the point where Fiora outscales. So Fiora is going to have to be very careful. You're extremely susceptible to getting run down and kind of taken out, especially when it's an aggressive jungler like Elise for Proxim. You can get chased down very, very easily. You know, when you go into lane swap lanes especially, and there's no turrets available, with these long lanes, Trundle Pillar is incredibly powerful. You can really just kind of chase people down for so long. And, Fiora is better at chasing than escaping, because when you hit the Qs, the part of the cooldown gets reset. So when you're queuing away from people, it's actually a lot harder to get away.
Yeah, that's 60% of the cooldown. Really makes level 9 such an important power spike for Fiora. We'll keep an eye on that matchup and see. Because right now, Darshan's actually heading towards the bottom side, and with Stixxay and Aphromoo sitting over on that side of the jungle, seems like we are going to see CLG send Stixxay and Afro towards the top lane, while Envy, they're pretty far forward in that bush.
Afro and Stixxay definitely wanted the 2v2. I think that this is something where they're assuming the other team is going to lane swap and they're trying to match them. I would be very surprised if they're trying to avoid this lane as Lucian and the Thresh. I think it's a very, very powerful 2v2 lane, so likely just expecting Envy to be top lane. Unfortunately for them, they are wrong. The Envy bot lane going to make the invade, and that means CLG is going to have to back off immediately, and Envy gets a little bit of the edge because they're going to pick up the camp and their opponents are not.
Immediately, we're seeing Xmithie and Darshan head up towards that Raptor camp, knowing they can't possibly try to take the Krugs. Even a ping now from Hakuho as he will try to invade and get some sort of vision on the CLG. So the ward dropped on the red pit is going to spot Darshan and Xmithie. There he goes, now sees it. I think Darshan's actually pretty happy with this as he lunges in. However, they've got to help out with that red buff on the opposite side. Proxim gets assistance with one camp before heading to the lane. 3 stun stacks built up by Hakuho.
It's actually being so annoying.
Yeah.
He's got to be careful, though, as they do pick up level 2. And Aphromoo actually moving down. He gets sped up by the Karma and making a long rotation. Was hoping to perhaps pick off Hakuho. If Hakuho did kind of go that greedy route, maybe move towards mid lane himself. Either way, not going to pan out. And this is an adaptation, so it's actually not going to be a turret trade, at least not yet. It looks like CLG is actually making the call to try to defend bot lane a little bit with Xmithie down on this side, Darshan staying around. I think that Smithie's actually going to come down and they're going to try to pick up this experience and this farm on bot lane. We'll see if they can do it. Nope. They're going to make the call now as the TP comes in to just back off.
Seraph calls CLG's bluff. It says 2v1. Well, how about 3v2? Teleporting down, and immediately Darshan answers on the opposite side. So it is going to end up being that tower trade to get these duo lanes off the map and allow Ninja and Kuki to just clear out camps at their, or clear out minions at their own convenience.
Would have been interesting to see if they could have actually tried to stay around and defend there and pick up XP on both sides, but at the same time, Darshan knows it's too risky, so he's just kind of hanging around trying to get what XP he can from those minions dying to the turret. Seraph did pick up more, not only in minions, but in experience, so he's going to have the additional damage to do that turret. Either way, looks like CLG and EnVy going to be able to pick up these turrets very, very easily, give away the solo gold to their top laners, and in the mid lane, things pretty even between the two.
So far, looks like that wave clear isn't providing too much of a problem for Ninja as he's keeping even with Huhi. You can see the top tier 1 and bottom tier 1 now cleared out. A little bit faster for Seraph, so we'll see if he's able to open that up into an advantage.
Yeah.
As Rek'Sai, not needing that mana or cooldown reduction, is going to gift over the first blue buff of his team to Huhi. He's going to be very thankful. Oh, no, whoops.
That's unlucky.
Yeah.
That's a bit frustrating when you kind of plan your path around that and then kind of botch the gift over. Anyway, not the end of the world. Darshan now moving down towards mid lane. Gets pinged out, though. They know the rotation is coming, and we'll have to see what CLG can get done. Seraph was able to pick up a lot more farm than Darshan in the early stages of this lane swap, which is always nice and kind of something that gets gifted over to you. Much like in the last series that we saw, if you kill the turret first, your top laner gets to stay around longer because their bot lane is slower to respond, and you get that extra few CS, which can sometimes be pretty crucial.
Yeah, so far, it's an 8 CS lead for Seraph. He's actually got a level up over Darshan as well. So we'll see if that holds true, if Darshan will come into the solo lane after the double lane swap with a deficit, or if he'll be able to catch back up as Xmithy going to steal away the Raptor camp and drop a ward. Looks to clear out his own Direwolf camp. However, Proxen is there. Neither of them have Smite.
Yeah, Smithy kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt, assuming you know, that he may have it and the rest of his team is going to be up there, so he wants to be careful. He does steal away the little minions, though, which is half the experience from the camp, so a little victory in and of itself. At the same time, both mid laners back, pick up a Chalice, building towards that Athene's, really kind of going supportive type builds.
Yeah, with the bottom tier 1 taken, Xmithy, seeing jungler on the opposite side, immediately rushes towards the Ocean Drake. 6 minutes in, CLG playing for the Drakes a lot faster than the previous game.
We have Proxen moving down this quadrant of the map, but they're not going to be fast enough. They're kind of pinging around that location, but they're going to be too late to the party. And that Ocean Dragon does go down. Infernal will be the next one. Definitely going to be hotly contested for these two teams.
Yep. So CLG taking the first Drake, but that means they're trading off a minor advantage, actually starting to get to be a pretty big advantage for Seraph. He actually shoved that wave in because there was no one to answer, taking that Drake.
A really late recall, honestly, from Darshan, who's going to be not there in time to even potentially have a freeze, and he's losing quite a few of these minions, so would have expected him to want to be there in time to pick up this XP and as much of that gold as he can, because it's 30 CS to 9 right now, 2 levels down already. Obviously that's not 2 full levels. I'm sure he'll ding 4 relatively soon, but Paco getting tagged.
Yeah, they set up a
Here comes Rek'Sai.
push. There goes the Void Rush, and Xmithy.
Oh, he misclicked.
Whoops. Spamming that right click.
Clicked on his tunnel by accident there. Not a big deal. Don't think they really could have got the kill, but either way, back to farming. Darshan in a disadvantage. Did not get the freeze because he was not there in time to potentially stop that minion wave from bouncing. And now Trundle's going to feel great. You're in this spot where you can roam around, join up with your team, and you know that the wave is going to slow push towards you, so you'll have lots of time to get back there and collect all those minions as you do eventually get to your tier 2.
Yeah, Darshan does have his teleport back up, but Seraph groups up with the rest of CLG.
Smithy is kind of lying in wait here. Will he pull the trigger? I don't think so. That's looking risky.
Doesn't have his smite. Actually, it just came off cooldown. He's able to scare Proxen away, and he will be able to secure his own red buff despite all of EnVy there. However, EnVy quickly rotate up towards the mid lane, who he does not have enough wave clear as the minions finally will go out. And that's a third of the health on that turret traded by a decisive rotation from EnVy.
Yeah, so they get a chunk, but thankfully Hui did clear out the wave, and that's the important thing there. He just wanted to clear the minions so they aren't able to stay around. And you can see top lane, this wave is building very big. Darshan has caught up on the farm, but this is going to be a fat wave that will push over to Seraph, and he can pick that up for himself as he does go up to top lane. And Rek'Sai moving up here, they may be able to catch Seraph making this rotation. Kind of went a scary way for himself.
Yeah.
Backs off, though.
Really wants that minion wave on the top side of the map, as Darshan's actually caught up currently. However, when this minion wave...
He's going to fall behind again.
...finally crashes, yeah, Seraph will be able to get that.
And Smithy is also not there. Smithy backed off, so if Darshan tries to solo push this in by himself, that is extremely dangerous. And honestly, he should not be this far up by himself, so Smithy's moving up. We'll see, though. Proxen here with Seraph. Can they get the 2v2 outplay? Smithy doesn't see them. Doesn't have the tremor sense.
Melee Cocoon, he makes it over the wall. Tunnel is not enough to catch up play. There's a Lantern, he's shielded. Flash, red buff, first blood for Proxen. Misses his flash over the wall, and Darshan answers with a kill of his own.
Yeah, TP even coming in there from Huhi. Not needed, though. Can Darshan get it?
Whoa!
He's going to flash on a Seraph. Has red buff.
Yeah, that burning away means that Seraph takes some big damage, but Darshan looking very optimistic as he will shove this wave into the turret. No chance for a freeze for Seraph.
Yeah, no freeze. Will pick up a lot of the farm, if not all of it, though. So going to be getting some of that XP for himself. Key that Darshan gets the kill here. Yes, it's first blood over to Envy, but with the Fiora getting that kill, I think it's actually not that bad of a trade. Because Fiora had, as things turned out, kind of fallen behind in that 1v1, and giving him that kill gold is going to put him right back to even. Smithy now coming in here. Envy has laid a nice trap, and they get the early damage in on him. That red damage burn is actually going to take him out. He flashes out of there. Last tick of the burn does get the kill, and now Proxen fail flash into the wall. I don't think he was going anywhere either way, as Darshan did have his flash available.
Yeah. That's going to keep it even in kills for CLG, and with the next Drake spawning in 2 minutes, they're going to want as much as they possibly can. Envy have not yet secured Drake this series. Darshan immediately with the completed Tiamat and his Phage turns onto Seraph. However, Subjugate means that Darshan has to play it safe and back away. He's just going to catch the minion wave instead, meaning Seraph can safely recall. But it's 90 seconds for that Drake. Darshan's going to be getting pretty big as he catches up in CS and levels. And let's see what the recall for Stixxay is. Completed Youmuu's as well, so we might be having a fight on our hands in the next minute or so.
Lucian a lot stronger than Caitlyn at this point in the game. Stixxay up quite a bit in CS, has a completed item, and since Laud went those Zerker Greaves first, they're super efficient now. It's a totally fine buy, but you're going to be a lot later to complete that first item. And Caitlyn, honestly, is looking for the 2-item power spike. That's where you start to kind of really come online. We have the Hurricane plus the IE. You start to become very, very powerful. Lucian is just like a super powerful AD carry right from the early buys and on. So if we ever see those two matching up as far as team fights or even dueling, Stixxay should have a big advantage at this stage in the game. And Envy making the rotation down to bot lane. Will they be able to catch anyone? They are spotted out by CLG.
Oh, that Cocoon caught Smithy, but he was able to buffer his tunnel. However, Laud got left all alone, and Huhi tried to turn on for a bit of damage. Laud trades it back, though, as that blue buff wears off. Envy conga line towards the bottom lane, and then back up towards the mid. However, Darshan is in top.
Yeah, the important part, Darshan's split pushing here, getting a lot of free time, and Seraph's going to lose all these minions, and now Darshan's actually moving down. He wants to cut Seraph off and try to fight him as he comes up for the minion wave, at least zone him off it, try to stop him from getting as much CS as possible. Darshan unable to do so, though. Seraph goes the safe way and loses some minions, but still will be able to pick it up. Either way, a victory for Darshan. Gets it pushed in, resets it. Smithy with a nice sidestep on the Cocoon.
Yeah, he will turn around on Proxen. Proxen tries to repel. He's still got no flash, and the collapse from CLG will be able to net them a kill. Long-range riposte for Darshan for style points.
Yeah, Afro was trying to kill off all the little spiderlings.
Yeah.
Able to get the hook. Ooh. Could not actually get the hook out ever on Proxen, but it does not matter. Darshan, nice collapse, picks up his second kill of the game. Things looking good for him. Afromo goes for that flash hook, not able to land it, but no big deal for him. He loses his flash, not the end of the world. They get the dragon.
Yeah, that's Infernal Drake now picked up for CLG. You just saw on the side of the Dragon Pit that it's going to be an Ocean Drake next. So CLG looking to transition towards that late game. But here's that pick onto Smithy again.
Yeah, Smithy with that nice sidestep. Yes, he does get stunned up by the Braum passive, but Huhi is there in support. The play comes in, and you can see the Spiderlings are blocking Afromu there, but now the TP coming in. Double TP, Afromu is caught.
Separated from his team,
but
he
both
goes
the solo
down.
laners are above them. They're looking for the collapse. No, they're going to call it off.
Yeah, Stixxay and Xmidi have to back away. The two solo lanes, as you said, split. Here comes the rest of Envy. They did some chip damage earlier. Do they have enough minions to break it down now? Yeah, this turret going down as Envy turn around to pick up one of their own.
Yeah, so CLG look for the play. Both solo laners TPing in, but Afro kind of gets pincered there by Envy. They get the quick kill, and then the flank has to be called off, and now they're moving right over to the Rift Herald. Nice play from Envy, picking up some gold, and looking to get this advantage for Seraph. They want to get the Rift Herald buff on him to keep him as relevant as possible, but CLG want to contest. We'll see if they can do it.
Yeah, Darshan is there.
Here they are.
They're trying to wrestle out the patience. It's not going to be secured by CLG as Envy pick it up. Darshan in the back, but he's exhausted, trying to kill Hakuho. He's able to get the kill and the healing zone and regenerating quite a bit, while Huhi is trying to deal with Ninja on the side. Silence, and he gets the kill. Proxen tries to follow up, but goes down. That's a quick 3-4 kills for CLG, and Lot is forced to flash away.
And they can go straight to mid lane. The wave is already pushing in there. They're going to move up and take the red buff first, but should be mid lane turret going down here for CLG. Even though it's at full, it doesn't really matter. No defense can be mounted, and eventually they will be able to pick up this turret, probably with the next wave, if not on this one.
Yeah, CLG. In the previous game, they went blow for blow across the span of minutes. Now it seems like the teams are going blow for blow across the span of seconds.
And here they go, quick collapse from CLG. One of the advantages of having that Rek'Sai, they get in. Darshan uses his ult on Hakuho, knowing how big that heal is going to be for the team fight. So even though it's not the biggest priority target, they get a massive heal for their team, allowing them to win. Huhi wins the duel against Ninja on the side. The heal from Stixxay coming in there, keeping his mid laner alive. And now Laud, knowing he has no chance to win that duel, has to flash out. So big plays from CLG. Envy still very relevant as far as the gold goes, and Seraph did pick up the Rift Herald buff, so it's something going on for him, but Darshan 3-0-2 on this Fiora is going to outscale the Trundle pretty heavily, and the fact that he's picked up all these early kills, he's been involved in everything, he's having a much cleaner game than last time. You know, last time he got the first blood, but he had some kind of silly fights, got taken out.
Oh, Tether just breaking range for Huhi.
There.
Very optimistic attempt, but not able to secure that. And as you said, Darshan, despite being down in CS, having a very commanding performance as the team is effectively able to play around him and his calls to make these fights happen. And now CLG, with the advantage in kills, with the advantage in Drakes, look to turn those advantages into more turrets too. They've got 2 in the mid lane, 2 in the bottom lane, with a Fiora split pushing in the top. However, Envy are prepped and ready to defend.
Yeah, gold's still even because of that CS lead for Seraph, but oh, Ninja gonna get caught!
Yeah, it's big damage. There goes a Tether. Huhi gets snared under the turret, though, by the cocoon from Proxen. And Darshan looking for the 1v1. Hasn't dropped the grand challenge just yet. A Subjugate is ticking away. Is Seraph gonna be able to solo kill him here? Darshan flashes and escapes with his life.
Yeah, that's the thing. Trundle can still smash you in that 1v1. He steals so many stats. You need more completed items before you really can take that full-on fight. Darshan getting a little over-ambitious, does have to flash out of there, and lucky that Seraph did not have a flash of his own to be able to finish it off. So Hydra now finished. I really feel like probably around when he completes his second item, if he gets his Cleaver plus the Hydra at a good time, he may start being able to duel up against Seraph, maybe even need some life steal on top of that, but eventually it will happen. For now, Trundle is still very, very scared.
Meanwhile, the defensive line for Envy on the other side of the map, you just saw they were able to hold their tier 2.
Yeah.
CLG will get a lot of deep vision on that side of the map. They've got wards all over, and Ocean Drake's up in 90 seconds.
Speaking of wards, that's a big advantage for CLG this game because Smithy has a Sightstone, and Proxen's actually going a super aggressive build. Even though he's 1-3, he went Sork Boots. He has the completed, damaged jungle item, and he's not actually building a Sightstone. Most Elises in competitive play do pick up the Sightstone. He elects to go Kindle Gem, and I guess he's going to be building into Protobell. It could be that if he's going to go full-on aggression. So we'll have to see if that's the case. I would have expected that 800 gold to just go into a Sightstone, though, honestly, because having that much of a vision advantage can be pretty detrimental for your team. They don't even have any yellow trinkets, so just the one Sightstone and no yellows can be kind of tough to compete for vision.
Yeah, right now, as you said, that's currently favoring CLG as they're attempting to push up on the map once again. Yeah, Lot actually shows himself on the top side to clear out the ward, so this is probably going to be the Drake for CLG as they just clear out all of this vision from Envy. Xmithy going all the way up to the base gates to clear out a very aggressive pink ward. He will eat some big damage, though, before tunneling away.
Yeah, he's going to be okay. Can build up some of that rage, regen some health. Darshan able to riposte that. And he's going to be split pushing, and they just have wards littered everywhere in EnVy's jungle. It makes it so hard for EnVy to even approach the dragon, and clearing out pink after pink, denying the vision removal. Now they move over, looking for that second ocean dragon. And they got 4-0 last game as far as the dragons were concerned, and that gave them a big advantage going to late game. And now, once again, going to pick up another free one. There's just no way for EnVy to know if they're doing this or just setting a trap.
EnVy, however, decide to play safe.
Yeah.
They defend their mid-tier 2, don't want to try face-checking blindly into the dark jungle when there's so much crowd control and, frankly, damage from CLG if they're all stacked up in one bush. However, after picking up the Drake, they return to pressuring that mid and bottom lane while Darshan splits on the opposite side.
Yep, Seraph and Darshan meeting up in that 1v1 again. We'll see if either one of them is going to try to opt into an all-in. I mean, it's pretty scary even for both of them, because it's like if you opt into that 1v1 and you fail, you give up your life there, you're going to lose so much for your team.
CLG slowly chipping down these turrets. They're able to catch Seraph on a rotation, but he just hops away on that frozen domain, skipping to safety.
But right back down to bot lane. Afro even throwing out the lantern to move Stixxay over there faster. They have the inside track because they control the jungle. They can bounce back and forth, continue controlling vision, and yes, the traps are here and a little bit annoying, but Stixxay already there, going to get a lot of damage, probably can take this out. Depends if he wants to risk it. Afro moving back for the lantern just in case. They pick up another turret. Nice rotations here by CLG.
They finally crack that bottom tier 2 and continue to pressure the mid tier 2 despite the rest of CLG there. Now Seraph, spotted out by a pink ward from Darshan. As you said, 3-0-2, 5 out of 6 kill participation. He's shown us that he still has the 1v1 skills, but sometimes we're still seeing those questionable decisions to overextend and commit. This time though, it seems like he's really kind of reined it in just a bit.
This game he's been doing great. You know, he's had all the brilliant moments that we come to expect from Darshan without those kind of flubs that have kind of plaguing him a bit this season. He's looked really, really solid so far, has not given up his life even once, and has been involved in 5 of 6 kills as a top laner. That's no easy feat. So he's doing great for the team. We'll see how much longer he can keep this up. You know, if he can continue to perform at this level, it's going to mean very good things for CLG going towards the late game.
And we even heard from Darshan before the games. He's not terribly afraid of the 1v1 for Seraph. Well, he does have the Grand Duelist, so maybe a bit of a call-out.
Seraph building for that 1v1 himself, though. Gonna have the Iceborne finished up here pretty soon, and that, in addition to Tabbies and the Titanic Hydra, is gonna make him a beast in the 1v1 matchups. And it's going to be a while before Darshan really starts to kind of take advantage still. So we'll see. You know, it's been very even pacing wise, and the Rift Herald buff has been a big boon to Seraph. You know, that is really extending his kind of 1v1 prowess into a later stage of the game. Until Fiora really steals a lot of tanky stats, that's where it starts to kind of go bad, when it's like you're building tank, and usually Trundle has to do that later. We'll see how this 1v1 goes, though.
Drops the
Darshan losing.
Yeah, there's the Subjugate.
Flash is available for both.
Yeah, Darshan going to wait for that challenge to run out. Seraph continuing to heal up with the Corrupting Potion. However, CLG, it's not about the 1v1, it's about the team play. And with Seraph removed, that's CLG able to take it. And Darshan, he actually does look for the 1v1 flash. Solo kill for Darshan.
So smart by Darshan. He gets the ult to be popped by Seraph. He takes that trade every time. So the Subjugate expires. Seraph goes too far forward. Darshan able to pick up the kill. Nicely played by the CLG top laner. And now it's going to be tough for EnVy to answer all sides. You know, how do you answer top lane on this outer tier 2 with Darshan pushing towards your inhib?
Yeah, Stixxay pushing forward with the minion wave will get some help from the rest of his team, who he in the mid lane going to continue looking. Afro move. He was looking for the kill, and he's actually going to chase forward. Who he roams up. Lot is the target and gets picked up by CLG. Hakuho falls as well. Meanwhile, Darshan will get shut down. Solo kill the Ninja. Maybe a little bit too much greed, but they are able to take 2 turrets.
Yeah, Darshan laughing about that one.
Yeah.
That's okay. You know, he had the big play before that, and his team going to come up huge on the other side of the map. They get 2 kills, and they're just going in on this turret, but they have to be careful. Afro is really low, and Smithy taking some damage.
A lot of damage from Stixxay.
Yeah.
Able to bully Proxen and Seraph away before they decide to give up that inhibitor for now. That's a to be continued moment. We haven't taken it yet, but it's first on the list. Yeah, here's Afro once again.
Oh, what a aggressive play. Lands the hook and just goes deep between the two turrets. Fox goes down, Ignite as well. The team fully commits, flashes in from both his teammates. They do take him out, and Darshan at the same time. A nice ultimate there by Ninja, knocking Darshan out of his queue, so not able to get that. Really good stuff, stopping the lunge.
CLG in very comfortable control of this game. 3 Drakes up, 3 turrets up, and about 4,000 gold with the next Drake spawning as a mountain. They would still have an opportunity to look for a 5th Drake if they are able to take it on spawn, but right now CLG playing around the top side of the map, clearing out vision just in case they could get the bigger objective for this part of the game, that Baron that would not allow them to break inhibitors.
Huhi really kind of playing for the team this game with his item build, has the Ardent Sensor, has the Athenes, really going to be able to buff up Darshan, buff up Stixxay, and at the same time, you know, Laud, he's got to be the guy who carries. We talked about this early, and if Envy can hang around and Laud can keep scaling up, they could get something done here. They definitely have a strong team fighting comp. If you can keep the Caitlyn protected, it could be huge, but Afro's going to get caught.
Yeah, he flashes back. Now Xmithy in the front is going to be taking these autos from Laud. Huhi able to catch up. Proxen looks for the Venomous Bite, but doesn't quite find it. As there's a culling, Xmithy chases over the wall. He gets cocooned. Darshan teleported in before he's forced to dash away. CLG are split, but they're trying to turn this fight. Skill shots are being thrown, but none of them quite land, and they're able to disengage.
Yeah, so CLG gets out of there. They get caught, but they don't give up any deaths, and Envy happy to kind of push them back because they want to delay. They need this Caitlyn to keep scaling. You have the death cap already on the Lulu. You have the Athenes.
Oh, now it's CLG who set up the death push. They try to catch on the Hakuho, but he's healed and allowed to hop away. Seraph will be knocked up by Xmithy. Darshan catches up. There's the grand challenge. He's going to have to go deep if he wants that kill. As once again, the team skirmish, but it results in no kills.
Yeah, big save there from Ninja. Has the death cap completed. As I was saying, a lot of AP. These shields are going to be very powerful. If Laud can get up to 3-4 items and be buffed up by Ninja, stay alive in these team fights, they have the potential to win off the back of this Caitlyn. At the same time, though, CLG, pushing the pace on the Dragon. They're taking down another one. Their 4th consecutive, 8 consecutive if you consider last game as well. So Envy has not been able to get in there on the Dragon fights whatsoever.
Yeah, and CLG, they have not yet been able to beat a team above them in the standings. Well, as we said, might be time. Envy having a rough few weeks playing against Immortals, TSM, and Cloud9. Well, CLG
maybe
looks like they might be able to show
a little bit,
Yeah.
It's one of those things where even though you're playing these really tough teams and it's somewhat okay to lose to them, it can feel rough. The losses start stacking up. It can really affect your mental state. So I think Envy is playing pretty well, and they still have a good chance in this game, but they need to continue to hang on. It's really going to be up to Laud to carry these team fights and Seraph to just kind of hold on in this 1v1 because Darshan is going to keep building for the split push. He has his Cleaver plus Hydra. He's building towards, it looks like, Hexdrinker and probably a Maw, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, we saw how CLG played against that earlier. Darshan skirmished to pull Seraph's attention. And seems like that might happen again, as now there's a fight on the opposite side. Envy aggressively push in that top lane.
They are, but Darshan's not coming over. He's still pushing. We'll see. The minions have quite some time to get there, and can he actually get it to the inhibitor turret, go aggressive? Seraph was making the rotation. Darshan comes to mid lane.
Huhi's able to zone Seraph away, knowing they've got vision of Darshan roaming. However, the 4-man gank squad of Ninja, freshly enabled by the split push of Seraph, will clear out vision around this Baron.
Careful, they're getting collapsed on.
CLG are trying to collapse. Darshan looks for Seraph as Xmithy chases forward. Traps means there's no way to escape. And Envy looking to retreat towards that top lane. Darshan's pushing down the mid lane. Huhi in the front has got to be careful. Xmithy trying to find a way in. Trap is going to find nobody just yet.
The turret is already being worked on by Darshan, so just kind of zoning them out. Nets him half the HP off there, but Huhi getting pretty low.
Yeah, he takes a lot of hits. Chunked down to half, but Stixxay dashes in. Seraph goes low before Stixxay takes the delayed lantern.
These fights are so close, but no one is dying. Critically for both the teams, they're not able to take anyone out. Now they're trying to push aggressively forward, looking to take this turret. Can they actually break the base?
Naka finds Darshan. The inhibitor falls and Stixay dashes in immediately. Darshan tries to call the fight for Envy. Seraph is only just now trying to catch up. There's a cocoon onto Darshan. He's got 2 stacks, and Xfinity will drop. That's the front line. And Afro who's running as fast as he can. Seraph is absolutely huge. He's going to be pulled back in and be able to pick up the kill while Stixay hops the wall. Lod chases and gets a kill of his own. And Envy are winning this fight. It's 30 seconds on the respawn timer. Ace in the hole onto Darshan is riposted. Hugi looks for Ninja. Oh, but Flash over the wall. Where's he going? Left or right? Left or right? He aggroed the Wolves. Oh, he's going to go down. The solo kill by Hugi.
That was not what he wanted to do. That actually got him killed there.
Yeah.
Could have maybe walked out, but CLG kind of played into Envy's hands a little bit, gave them the team fight they wanted. Darshan maybe could have just kept split pushing, but they smelled blood in the water. They went for the jugular, and it does not work out. Still, they are up quite a bit of gold. 4,000 is the lead, and we'll see how much gold Lod has to spend right now as he does base. It's actually a lot. Yeah, he just got a full rapid fire off that. So now hitting that 3-item power spike, this is where it starts to get devastating. Double attack speed modifiers for the Caitlyn, plus the attack speed he's getting from the Lulu with the W. He's going to be like capped on attack speed pretty much right now with 80% crit. So this is going to be a very scary Lod, and Lod coming up big for the team in that team fight. We'll see if he can continue to do so.
As we said earlier, Envy are trying to put all their eggs in the Lod basket. Well, with these items, he just might be able to do it. 2, 1, and 2 so far. We saw how much he was able to do if he's able to stay alive.
Still, CLG has split push priority. They have vision control, and one pick on Envy could be devastating because the inhibitor is already open, and Baron is a constant threat. How does Envy continue to get these fights? Because CLG could just go back to kind of plan A, which is split forever with Darshan. Don't give them the team fights.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. Darshan continuing to keep Seraph occupied as he has been for most of the game.
Here comes Ninja. They're looking to go for the chase down. Can they get it?
Forward. And
CLG go to Baron. They're on Baron.
Slow. They're trying to burn through with one Mountain Drake. They're going to do quite a bit, but here comes the rest of Envy.
Can they get the steal? This is going to be huge, Proxen.
Oh, they back away.
No, they're not resetting it. Smithy's hanging around. He's not sure. Okay, now it resets, so they do make the call. At the same time, Darshan gets away, so that's critical.
Yeah, very close game. CLG having a much cleaner lead than in the previous match, but Envy still making decisive calls to keep themselves back in.
Seraph too far up, perhaps. He could get chased down here. He's going to be in some trouble. But Ninja's here once again. They're looking for the 2v1.
Oh, Darshan once again looks for the 1v1, finds a 1v2. CLG immediately try to push onto the Baron, but with Envy in the area, they've got to back away. That's a kill for Envy.
Yeah, thwarted on both sides. Good job by Envy. They go back to the play that worked for them last game. Yes, you have 1v1 priority as Darshan. They know he wants to fight. He always wants to outplay his opponent. Go for the 1v1. And he falls right into their trap. Last time it was Proxen. This time it is Ninja. Nice job there by Envy. And they are buying more time. Exactly what they need to do. But still, Rift Herald buff is expiring now on Seraph. And the matchup is only going to get worse for him.
Yeah, having some trouble with that 1 versus 1.
Scary.
Darshan
almost has a bloodthirster now.
Yeah, building up as best he can. Sticks that on your screen right now. Putting out as much damage as he possibly can in these team fights.
Yeah.
But this game really has been CLG setting the pace. At the end of game 1, we saw a very challenging call to try to take the Nexus, and they were just barely able to. Well, in this one, it was a very challenging call to try to take that middle inhibitor. Well, this seems like it might be a bit of a trade as Envy gets the faster rotation onto CLG for the tier 2. CLG are trading it for the Ocean Drake, though.
And they have the inside track. Their inhibitor is open. This is kind of a dangerous play here. We'll see if they can make back to the base in time to actually stop their inhibitor from going down. With CLG on the Drake, I think they may have the time, but a lot of free damage being put in here. Envy arrives. They cut it close, but that is 5 dragons to 0 for CLG. And with next one being Elder, it's the same story as last game. Envy are not going to get much out of taking Elder, but if you give it over to CLG, that's 5 times true damage burn. You are going to get destroyed by that.
That's 270 true damage burn on every auto attack.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah. Especially on a Fiora.
Oh, yeah.
Might be looking to burn through some of Seraph's defenses. However, Hakuho takes some punishment from Huhi as he tries to reclaim vision of his side of the jungle. We're still seeing CLG press their wards up and try to catch Envy out of a rotation to look for a turret break. Oh, but Huhi might be caught. He flashes away from the Lantern. Knockup is still going to catch him. After a move in front, it's still going to lot, but here comes Darshan. As you said, Flash dodges the hook. Envy are able to disengage, and Xmithie in the backline backs away.
Look at
no, he goes back in. He's going to get a huge flash knockup, but goes down. Darshan in the front is exhausted. He's going to back away as well, as the culling is not going to be successful. Slow finds Huhi.
They have pillars from Seraph. They can continue to chase. We'll see if they catch anyone.
Frozen Domain means Envy are trying to catch up. Seraph looking for one. He's going to target Huhi. Remember, he used his flash earlier. There's an auto attack shut down by Lod. That's 2 kills for Envy as they continue to chase forward.
This Caitlyn is massive, and CLG cannot get to the back line, and they cannot deal with Lod. But Darshan's going to go straight for the inhibitor. He's going to make the wraparound and try to take this. Go for a trade, maybe even take more. Envy goes straight to the Baron. They're being decisive. They need to get this and then get back to the base.
Yeah, empowered recall means they're going to be back in just about 4 seconds. So far, that's 3 of them. Seraph and Lod are going to run zone to make sure that Ninja will be able to complete his recall. Darshan does not take the inhibitor. And Envy are able to turn themselves back around and get right back in this.
Wow, again, and this is the scaling. We talked about it. Lod is getting huge. He now completes the Lord Dominic's. Xmithie is going to get shredded by this Caitlyn, and oh, that is a scary situation for them. Seraph just pushing forward, chasing them down. They have the pillars, they have the speed up. Look how safe Lod is playing. He knows that he is the key target. If he stays alive, CLG cannot really win these fights. So they push off Xmithie on the side, but Xmithie decides, let's go for it. He sees the opportunity to get in there on Lod, but he's already taking so much damage, they cannot get to him. Lod backs off, blows the summoners, and now Darshan has to escape. After there with the Lantern, gets him out, but Seraph has high CDR, he has the pillar. When this lands onto Huhi, it is lights out for the CLG mid laner. Crit comes in from Caitlyn, takes him out, they get the Baron off the back end, and now they are trying to extend the gold lead.
Yeah, immediately within the span of that Baron, they shove down the mid lane and take down that tier 2 turret.
Yeah.
However, Darshan still split pushing on the opposite side of the map, trying to go for the solo play.
Oh, look at 6A. Half his health from one auto there from Lod. And this is the danger. This Caitlyn is an absolute terror at this stage in the game. Turret's going down.
Oh, huge damage is going to quite chunk out Envy, but they're able to heal it back up. Darshan finally able to break down that middle inhibitor, but Envy might answer back with an inhibitor of their own. They continue to shove forward as Seraph and Darshan are continuing to duke it out in the mid lane on the opposite side of the map.
They can collapse. Envy's going to try to make the call. They're going to run back, see if they can cut off Darshan. If they can potentially, get another inhib or maybe even more. Darshan needs to escape. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, he's running as quick as he can, and Envy are actually feigning towards the bottom side. No Elder Drake for a while. Might have been looking for an optimistic pick onto CLG. But Darshan gives him the old runaround as Huhi teleports to catch up with his team. And it's traded right back, dead even between these teams. Suddenly, despite CLG having a lead for the first 30 minutes, we're in the exact same spot we were in game number 1.
Really good play by Darshan, though, making the best of a bad situation. They cannot contest the push. He sneaks around, he outduels Seraph, he takes the inhib, and he escapes. Really great stuff from him, keeping CLG alive. And this is what they're going to need from Darshan. He needs to be sneaky. He needs to outsmart Envy, because in the straight-up 5v5 team fight, I do not think they have the tools to get the kill on Lod unless Lod mispositions. Yes, if Lod gets caught, if he goes too far forward, sure. But in a properly played 5v5 team fight, Envy should come out on top.
Pressure is on.
Oh, yeah.
About a minute left for that Baron. Buff to wear off of Envy as double super minions meet in the mid lane. Elder Dragon's up in 70 seconds, and CLG are already setting up some wards on that side of the map. Envy, though, might just be calling that as they head towards the top side. Ninja is going to catch up with the rest of his team as he races out of base with the freshly completed Rabadons and Lichbane.
Yeah, he's hit 4 items now, just bought up that Void Staff, so going to be adding even more damage in. Lichbane going to give him some of that CDR, as well as really huge sieging potential, and Lod and co are here in position. Fiora still pushing on the side. CLG needs to delay, allow Darshan time to try to push this in and start putting pressure on the objectives, but they do not have the time. VOD moving forward aggressively, and they can take down this turret in a hurry.
Yeah, they've still got Baron for another 18 seconds. They're whittling down the turret. LoD chunking it down with that rapid-fire cannon. It's going low. Smithy gets caught. He's still able to keep standing, though, and LoD will be able
on the turret, too. They're trying to trade.
Yeah, here comes the trade. We'll see if he will be able to as he's being pressured by Seraph, and a pause is called.
Oh, man, that is...
Oh.
I don't know if this was something that happened with Darshan or what, but it looked like Darshan was kind of getting blocked up there. I don't know if that was like what exactly happened, but Seraph actually put down a really nice pillar. He dropped the pillar on top of the turret, actually pushing Darshan back off of it. And Darshan was trying to basically ignore Seraph and just take down the turret. But because of this kind of smart little play there from Seraph, he actually has Darshan at a really disadvantageous position. So as we're in this pause, Seraph is at full HP with the ultimate active on Darshan. Darshan's at about 30% health under the turret. If Darshan dies, the game is probably over here for CLG. So Darshan has his ultimate available, has his flash. He's going to have to make some sort of escape or a really incredible outplay to try to take down Seraph from this position. And you can see the look on his face, very, very tense here. They know the game is kind of sitting in the balance right here. A lot of it's going to come down to Darshan.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of questions about Darshan's performance lately. This is the time to show, hey, he still can do it. He's still got it. Well, now that we've got this pause going on, we've got a bit of an opportunity to take a deep breath and sort of recollect ourselves.
One of the first in a long time. This game has been very intense, and it's really on a knife's edge right now. EnVy clearly have outscaled as far as 5v5. They clearly have the advantage in the team fight, but Darshan is going to be this split-pushing monster, and it's all up to him. You know, they have this team. They cannot win 5v5. They must win in the side lanes. Unfortunately, Darshan down 2 levels. That is going to be a pretty big deal, and you can see he has key completed items, but look at all the armor that has been built up on Seraph. Seraph doesn't actually need to kill him. It doesn't matter as long as he can delay him, as long as he can push him off, and that is why he is building up all these defensive items now. You know, probably going to pick up a GA or a Deadman's next. He already has the Thornmail, the Tabbies. He's trying to just survive at this point and stop Darshan, because he doesn't have to win that fight. He just has to delay, where Darshan has to make the outplay, has to get the kill.
Pressure is on for CLG fans.
Yeah.
They're already up 1-0 in the series, but if EnVy are able to take it back and take us to a Game 3, they might just win the exact same way that they did a few weeks ago and claim that head-to-head against CLG, previous Spring Split champions.
This game just means so much to these two teams. EnVy has been playing against all these top teams, starting to slide a bit in the standings. They had, you know, a 4-0 start, then they had to play TSM, then they had to play Immortals. You know, they're losing some games here and there, and CLG has kind of inversely had a really bad start and have not been able to pick up a single win against the teams above them in the standings. They haven't been able to take down, you know, your Cloud9s, your Liquid, any of these teams, and they lost to EnVy once already. So they want to close that out. It would mean so much to these guys to be able to win this game, especially when they had that big lead. You know, they had, you know, the ability to do it, and it all kind of turned around off of that fight in mid lane, where EnVy was miraculously able to kind of hold out. They get a bunch of kills. They get the Baron off of that too. So they really were so close to ending the game, and now it's looking like EnVy is poised to do just that. We'll have to see. Can CLG hold on? It's just tough. It's a really close position.
Yeah, so right now we're actually currently looking at Lulu, Ninja, still had the Baron buff when it wore off, so we're taking a look to see if that is graphical or if that was actually in the Runes and Masteries.
Stuff,
so we're taking a look at that real quick. That is not, in fact, in the 1v1, so...
Yeah, I know that Baron buff is actually affected by Runic Affinity, so it's possible that they thought it should have expired because it expired off other people, but maybe he had it. I don't really know. Could also just be a visual bug with the Spectator client that does happen from time to time. Either way, we want to make sure that nothing was actually affecting the game, and it's better to be safe than sorry here. A bit of an unfortunate timing for the pause, as it is at this critical moment. Once again, Darshan locked in this kind of what could be a game-ending fight with Seraph, and very low on health, down 2 levels. Going to be scary, and I know we have gotten the word that we're going to be starting up here pretty soon.
Yeah. So. It's like when you're reading an exceptional book and you get right to the climax, right to the big fight, and then you got to put it down because you got to take out the trash or do dinner or something.
I live by myself. I don't have to take out the trash. I can do that later.
Soon, though, we'll get to read that next chapter.
Yep.
Tune in next week. Will George R.R. EnVy be able to reclaim the Seven Kingdoms, or will CLG? I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, I don't know where you're
just
going
keeps
either.
going.
I was trying to help you, but I couldn't think of anything either. I'm like, maybe he has a plan here. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no plan. We'll see if CLG has a plan here.
Yeah, that's the hope. CLG, I mean, they've been showing us some really great things. Their macro play
Right. The players are calling ready here. We are going in,
and
this is going to be key. Darshan must survive here. Can he get the outplay? Has to pop the ult defensively. Look at the lifesteal. Is going to be okay. And now the question is, can CLG hold on in base?
Yeah, the Baron buff did just fall off, so it seems like that was just a bit of a bug. And CLG trying to defend their inhibitor. Lod chases forward. He's got bonus movement speed. Calling to
he gets
the hook. Finds Lod. They're going to destroy him. And CLG immediately turn it on, trying to chase down Envy. Stixay sidesteps the Glacial Fissure as Darshan keeps the pressure in this side lane. Void Rush. They're trying to collapse.
The flank is coming in. This is massive for CLG.
Oh, Hakuho trying to split, but the team is just separating as best they can. Ninja running as far away, but the Randuins drops so slow. Stixay gets some damage. Oh, Stixay flash, and they're going to be able to get the kill. CLG are trying to take it. Darshan, will he have enough? He drops the turret. Will he be able to turn now on the
ult is back up.
Oh my gosh, he goes down to the solo kill, but the turret is secured. Elder Dragon just spawned.
Darshan should not have gone for that. They just got 2 kills. They could have gone down mid lane and perhaps ended the game, but with him dying, that means they will have to try to settle for the secondary prize. At the same time, Hakuho is still on the run. Afromu is chasing him. They want to get Elder. They have 5 dragons. The TP coming in from Seraph. He's trying to get the back door here. He wants to go straight for the inhibitor. This is very tense.
Yeah, he races forward. CLG are trying to burn it down. It's 30 seconds left before we've got any respawn from Darshan. Looks like the Elder Dragon is going to be going down before that inhibitor, though. So CLG will be able to take... No, the inhibitor goes down. Holy Glacial Shroud. He's going to pick it up and clear that right quick. Elder Dragon is traded in answer, though.
Yeah, Trundle, a lot of damage on those turrets. Darshan, unfortunately, wanted to commit to getting that inhibitor turret. Does go down, but look at this hook. This is a game-saving hook from Afromu. Nails it. They clean up the kill, all in on the Kate. That is what we talked about. Barring a mistake from Lod, barring him get caught, they can't lose this. And he makes that mistake.
Yeah.
He gets caught. Afromu comes up huge. Now they have the flank from Smithy, able to slow Ninja down enough here that Huhi speeds up Stixay, and then the Randuin slow as well. Stixay, nice flash right here, anticipating the Glitter Lance. Top, gets over it, picks up the kill. Great stuff from Stixay and CLG staying alive, but Darshan did go down, and they lost an inhibitor. They have Elder. What can they get done with this? They want to go for a game-ending play. They want to push down. They have a massive amount of true damage with this Elder Dragon buff. They have 5 stacks of it. They're going to go to end. This is CLG's best chance to end the game. If they lose this fight here, they will likely be outscaled and not be able to find another opportunity.
Yeah, here's the defensive line. Looks like Xmithy is going to try to separate Seraph from his team, prevent the recall as Darshan groups up.
Darshan's TPing in. They're trying to catch Seraph.
Oh, he is actually looking for Seraph. There is a Guardian Angel. You can see
they're
that
collapsing.
true damage
CLG's
burn.
coming around.
Oh, looks like they will. Envy will try to escort Seraph to safety. We're going to protect you, Mr. President, says Envy, and they get him back to their base. However, that leaves the mid lane undefended. Stixay walks back up. He gets through the trap line, but just can't quite break onto that inhibitor.
Yeah.
Finally starting to get some attacks.
CLG is trying to start the fight. They want to do it with the true damage up, but Stixay getting poked out here by Lod. It's still very dangerous. If Lod can stay alive in the team fight, regardless of the Elder Dragon, they could win, so they're going to have to kind of just back off for now. At the same time, they have this Elder Dragon buff. They could use it to try to take down Baron. Maybe the call, but an inhibitor down. Mid lane is exposed. Risky moment here for CLG. Afromu looking to set up a pick. They're going to go straight on Baron. They're going to go straight on Baron. They see Ninja in the side wave. They make the call.
Yeah, Ninja does have his teleport, though, and they're able to burn through it. Huhi on zoning patrol does enough slow to allow them to secure that Baron. And CLG break the inhib, take the Baron. Somebody's got to go back and defend that top wave of super minions, though, as CLG neck and neck with Envy.
So tense, and although they cannot end the game with the Elder Dragon, it nets the mid lane inhibitor. It does get them the Baron as well. So now this is, again, another chance, another kind of birth at life here for CLG, and Darshan now has the GA. He's getting closer and closer to those completed item builds. He's going to be a power in the split push. He has the Baron buff, and he is 18 now, so he has matched Seraph in levels, And Seraph, it's only going to get worse for him from here, where Darshan still has room to grow. So Darshan, if he can get this pushed up, if he can get it to the inhibitor turrets with the Baron buff, it's going to be almost impossible for Seraph in the 1v1 to stop him. At the same time, it's the same win condition for Envy. Keep LoD alive. He cannot afford another mistake like getting caught by that hook. He must stay safe. He must carry the team fights.
We saw how much one mistake equalized the game after Envy's very aggressive plays down mid and top lane. Well, now it's CLG with the advantage. One more mistake could mean the end of the match as CLG prep a wave bottom and immediately head towards the top side of the map, swapping it around once again.
At this stage in the game, it almost guaranteed will be the end of the game if someone loses a team fight. You know, with open inhibitors, with Baron buff even added to the mix, this late, the death timers are so long. One key pick can mean the game. And this is where playmakers can really decide the fate of your team. Having someone who can make that call, who can go for the aggressive play, get the flash hook, get the flash Bramall that wins the game. That can be the difference between these two teams. They're so evenly matched. They've played so well back and forth. Who is going to make the final big play for their team?
Yeah, CLG with the Baron buff has scored a minion wave towards the top inhibitor turret, while Darshan split pushes on the bottom side.
Yep.
The minions are doing some pretty good work. LoD continuing to dance around with that vision.
They're going to collapse. Envy cannot contest the bottom inhibitor. They're going to try to look for a fight, but will CLG give it to them? This is a 6-item LoD. He's going forward.
Yeah, the group is 5. Huhi allows them to back away. The inhibitor goes down, and CLG continue to shove forward. They've got Baron for another minute and a half.
They just need to stay alive. Don't get caught as a 4-man squad. Darshan is pushing this in. The super minions are coming down mid lane, and he will be able to go straight for the Nexus turrets. LoD is trying his best to be aggressive here, to get damage out. He must continue to do so because they're on a clock. Darshan is going to end the game eventually. And now Proxen has to go over. They have to try to 2v1 Darshan, and this is their chance to move forward and go for the inhibitor.
Yeah, LoD is going to try to defend as best he can. Baron still for another minute. CLG
tough.
Trying to break it down. Xmithie tanking the turret, takes a hit from LoD. They've got to move back and forth between these turrets, or else they just might seed it. Stixxay, takes the lantern and fades back before running back in. He's able to break down that inhibitor turret, continuing to stay just out of LoD's range. That time LoD sees the hook coming and sidesteps.
Yep. Xmithie has the flash, though. They can look for flash hooks. They can look for flash on burrows. Look at this damage coming out of the Caitlyn, though. It's a 6-item Caitlyn. They're trying to defend their last inhibitor, trying to hold on. The Baron buff does not have that much more time. They need to make it expire. And Seraph is trying to defend these Nexus turrets. We do see the base from Xmithie. He's going to ult right back. So all that damage that LoD got on him means nothing.
Yeah, LoD playing as best he can right now. 3-2 and 3. They're starting to get some hits onto this inhibitor. It's chunked down to half while Darshan keeps Seraph occupied on the far side. The cannon minion, hit by hit, auto by auto, is whittling it down inch by inch as CLG looking for the 2-0.
Yeah, Baron is now expired. It's still showing on Huhi, so it's the same thing as before, but look at that damage onto Afro from one shot. This could be scary. They are holding on. Envy's doing a good job so far, have defended their inhibitor. Hakuo maybe too far forward, though. CLG looks like they want the fight.
There's a culling. Glacial Fitcher knocks up. A hook
Ninja gets hooked.
Ninja. He gets pulled in, flashes away. He hangs on to the wild growth, though, because he knows it's all up to LoD. He has to keep LoD alive. Stixxay! Oh my god, stays alive. Barely shielded by CLG. And they continue to press forward.
They're so low. This is so dangerous. LoD could take out this team in a couple shots.
They go for the hook! The flash hook! It's dodged! Sidestep! He goes down! CLG are trying to push forward and take the win! Stixxay kiting as best he can despite the stun! They're able to pick up the kill! There goes the grand challenge! That's a triple kill for Stixxay! 3 inhibitors down! Quadra kill! As they're going to push onto the Nexus and 2-0 take the win over Envy!
You want a playmaker? How about Afromu? Lands the flash play, ends the game. Fantastic stuff from Afromu, pulling the trigger and closing out the series 2-0.
Oh my gosh. CLG taking the 2-0 in a very, very close set. Wow. Back and forth in both games, blow for blow, trades back and forth. And it came down, as you said, to the individual playmaking ability. And CLG just barely able to come out on top and take the 2-0 win over Envy.
Such a close game all the way through. It was ridiculously close. CLG gets ahead. Envy battles back, hangs on for so long, carves out themselves in an advantage. They get to this state that they wanted to get to, where they have the team fight advantage, the 5v5 advantage with the Caitlyn that must stay alive, then who else but Aphromoo lands the hook in the base, kills off Laud. That buys CLG another release on life. They have another chance. Darshan making the outplays in the side lane, staying alive for his team, and then to close it out after Envy heroically holds on against the Baron buff, Aphromoo, Flash Flay, gets the perfect engage onto Laud. They clean him up, and with him going down, no chance for Envy in the team fight.
Yeah, putting all their eggs in the Laud basket. Was able to hold on for a very long time, even able to get themselves back in after a comfortable CLG lead over the course of the early game. But again, just so close. Just trading macro plays back and forth. CLG still trying to show that they know how to play the map, still effectively running Envy around as best they can. But again, playing to their comps, playing to their strengths. Both teams knowing what to do to keep themselves in, but the superior playmaking comes to CLG this time.
Yeah, it really did come down to just individual playmaking. Aphromoo had the plays that won this game for CLG. I mean, it's hard to overstate that because it all came down to that. Envy had them outscaled. Envy had survived, had weathered the storm, and they had done so well for themselves. And yes, Darshan, had that advantage in the 1v1, but Seraph was enough ahead as far as levels, as far as items, that Envy had the chance to close out that game. And it all came down to Aphromoo making that one big play. Made it. That nets them the win.
Oh my gosh. And the pause in the middle on that crucial tipping point, just holding the game there. Such an excellent build up over the course of that series. But CLG showing that they can take a 2-0 over teams better than them. CLG fans,
First one of the split, actually. First time they've taken down a team above them in the standings. That is a good sign for CLG and their fans for sure. They're looking to make a second half surge here to really kind of push their way up the standings. These are guys who were second in the world at MSI, and they are not looking to not even make the playoffs in NALCS. So they want to be able to move their way up the standings, make it to Worlds, and really show that they are still here to compete.
Yeah, so far, just for a little context, no team in the NALCS has secured 3 back-to-back championships. CLG, they've got 2. Question is, will they be able to make it into playoffs 4-3? But we're actually going to hear from Pastry Time, who's standing by with CLG's star split pusher.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am here with Darshan. That was a pretty intense series. Envy seemed to be giving a lot of teams a run for their money. What were you thinking towards the end of that second game? Because you guys almost had to play another game there.
Yeah, I think at the end of that game, it just came down to us getting that pick or playing off split push. We really couldn't 5v5 them unless we got a good thresh hook, and that was the only way we were going to win a team fight. So it was really hard for us in that situation.
And you have been playing quite a lot of split push champions, Jax, Fiora, a lot of picks that you kind of used to be known for when you were a big carry player. Is this something you like about the metagame, or are you happy to play other stuff if the meta kind of shifts again? What are your thoughts, I guess, on top lane right now, and do you think it suits you?
It's kind of like last year towards Worlds. There's a lot more carries, but you can still play tanks, and I like that a lot more about the meta because it's not like tanks only. It's not Maokai, Echo, Poppy. There's a lot of variety. You can play a lot of different things, and you kind of see that. There's a lot of different top lane picks, and I think this is one of the best metas where there's just a lot more variability.
And then as far as the team goes overall, I know you guys have been working on a lot of different ways to sort of get maybe mid lane a bit more ahead and kind of working on that teamwork again. How has that process sort of been for you? Do you guys feel like you're maybe back to form, or you still got some work to do?
There is definitely a lot of work to do. I still think the series against Envy, we made a lot of mistakes, and we definitely played a little more solid as a team, but I don't think this means that we're a top team. We're the best team. Again, we still need a lot to work on, and I still think we just need to put in a lot of work. And so it'll just be the next 3 weeks if we can just get ready for playoffs. But I think we're definitely improving, getting better, and we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, and playoffs, they are definitely on the way. You guys are defending champions. First of all, your chance of making playoffs, how likely do you think it is, at least getting into that 6th slot?
I think very likely that we make it into playoffs, but the question is how well we're going to do, and that just comes down to the preparation and what we learn from the other top teams and what we learn about what we need to improve.
And then, of course, once you get to playoffs, what do you think your chance of defending the title are? I know it's a bit of a while away, but you guys are obviously looking for a 3-peat.
Yeah, we just have to get the 3-peat. I mean, it would be the first time it's ever happened for an NA team, and I think that's the reason we're here. We're here to be the best. Even though we did pretty terribly towards the beginning of the split, we knew the mistakes we made. We know what we need to work on, and we're just going to keep getting better and better for playoffs.
Awesome. Well, best of luck and congratulations. Thank you so much for the interview, Darshan. But we're going to throw it back to Dash and the rest of the analysts who are breaking down Team Liquid versus Immortals.
You're already down 2 levels as the viewers from the Team Liquid, or rather the CLG versus EnVy stream are joining us. CLG coming out victorious 2-0 in that one. So good on them there. They're going to be happy having taken down one of our top teams. Maybe this is the start of their comeback, their rise up in the standings, moving towards playoffs. While you guys join us, we've been talking about this Immortals victory over Team Liquid in a hard-fought 3-game series, picking up the third game after a very back-and-forth, kind of scenario. We're going to dive back into this, continue talking about it, just because it was so many intriguing things happened, right? Lorlo's now down an insane amount of XP as well as gold. We saw at one point about 3 to 4K gold difference just in that lane alone. It made it so tough for him to operate the remainder of the game, always having to fear that 1v1.
Yeah, Huni's the kind of player where when he's ahead, he stays ahead, and it's really depressing as a top laner to go up against that. And honestly, when you look back at your mistakes, the biggest thing you got to look at is, did I communicate to my jungler that I think of this possibility? And it's a really, really hard thing to do, but it's what you got to do.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to, is when Huni's on a carry versus carry matchup, he will not let himself fall behind, whereas sometimes it seems to happen to everyone he's against, where they might not get the pressure they need. We don't know on the outside, is the top laner communicating, I can't afford to lose this wave in this matchup, because it's not like you're playing a tank where, I'll fall behind, but I'll tank up later, I'll CC some people. And Aurelia kind of needs to be relevant gold-wise, and falling behind like that is not an option.
But that sentiment that you're talking about with Huni is very relevant to our player of the game, as he is going to receive player of the game honors. This was contentious, though. There were votes for both Reignover and Huni, so this one split decision, not unanimous, and a lot of that comes from the fact, do you attribute Huni's success to Reignover's ganking and his attention to that lane? But without knowing the communication between the two players, we can't assume who's either calling for it and who's acting on it. So it's kind of a tough scenario in terms of awarding player of the game, but ultimately he's going to get it because he performed with the lead once he had it.
Right. I'd honestly be fine with giving it to either of them, where Reignover is kind of like, having Huni piggyback onto him for a bit, and then Huni just goes off on his own.
Right, I mean, the ultimate assassinations he had on Fabi were really kind of what sealed the deal. It was still like a 3K gold lead going back and forth, and there's that one kind of near the top side around the Raptor camp, and just getting that one flank off really kind of sealed the deal. And it was ultimately off the back of Reignover's great pathing early, making sure that Huni isn't just letting Lorlo catch this huge wave and even out the matchup, he's staying ahead.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the Immortals versus Team Liquid series. Immortals cementing themselves as a top 2 team here against Team Liquid, but Liquid looking strong and definitely, as Dardoch said, looking confidently towards playoffs. Got a couple weeks to go, and maybe they'll be able to take some more games off TSM or Immortals when we get there. Now, though, let's turn our attention to this CLG versus EnVy matchup, in which CLG 2-0s EnVy. So, interesting because EnVy had such a great start to the split. They stumble for a bit, maybe they return for a second. This team, I'm having a tougher and tougher time as the split goes on, identifying how good this team is, because they keep playing with my heartstrings. And then on the side of CLG, we had such high expectations. Those went out the window, but here they are now finally taking a series off a team that's above them in the standings. That's exciting.
Right, but it was such a sloppy series, and especially game 2 that just ended. It was so back and forth, and there were a number of, CLG got a huge lead early, and then they failed trying to 4-1. Darcy couldn't get anything done, and it was just kind of insanity the whole way through.
Yeah, I feel like they just crawled back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not like they're throwing the doors open, saying "I have arrived." Right? It's very much they're kind of stumbling back into their
baby
position.
steps.
Yeah, exactly. Very much baby steps. But if we get into the gameplay itself, 14 minutes in, CLG's going to pick up a 4-0 around the Rift Herald. But a lot of this is coming off the back end of EnVy dedicating 5 of their members to a Rift Herald this early on in the game and paying dearly for it.
Right, I mean, right before this, EnVy had actually killed a couple of CLG members. They took the mid-turret and they transitioned up here, but it's just such an overextension and staying that they just get pinned up in this pit, and CLG basically just traps them in there, murders them. They have the Fiora ult healing all of them, who he's barely going to be able to live off on the side, and it's basically a catastrophe. When you see a situation like this, you generally think, okay, the game's over, barring any big mistakes. It should be, fairly controlled from there. I mean, CLG got 5 dragons by the end of the day, but control was the opposite of what this was.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. You put a key word in there. As long as we control and we don't make mistakes, after you get 4 kills for 0 at 14 minutes, most teams would be like, we should be able to win this game. We have all the tools to do it. And yet, it was not an easy task for them, Dyrus.
It's one of those things that where Rift Herald is good, but not that good.
Right,
we don't need 5 people to do it. We have that big eye with the true damage for a reason.
You need two-ish.
Yeah, diversify. Spread out, guys. Spread out. Spread the map. No, but they do pick up those 4 kills there. That is, of course, very helpful in their victory, but the series or the game rather, continued to go back and forth. As you can see, a 47-minute game, so very extended. And this is where, if we are going to throw any criticism at CLG, it would come in sometimes that maybe their impatience in the split push, particularly from Darshan, it seemed, uncharacteristically playing that 4-1 split incorrectly at times when he's most of the time the person that we laud for his ability to split.
It seemed to me like his idea of the 4-1 was like solo kill him and then take stuff. And there's even a time where he just like sat into the turret and was like, fine, I'll kill the turret. It didn't seem like he was willing to like move around at all, like once he has pressure to do something else. And especially there was one time where coming out of that pause, they got a kill. And instead of just going mid and getting that wave pushing so that after CLG's done chasing up the top side, they can swing mid and meet up and maybe end the game, he dies under the turret 1v1 to the Trundle, like finishing off the turret, and then Trundle just TPs and takes the inhib, and it results in a really wonky game state as opposed to CLG extending the lead.
I'm giving Darshan the benefit of the doubt. The only thing I can think of for his reasoning is that maybe he thought that they could never 5-on-5 and that he's just so hell-bent on like, I'm going to split push, I'm going to split push, I'm going to split push.
Right.
That's the only thing in my vocabulary.
Yeah, no, you have to assume that, because even at the end of the game, and we could actually play the winning game fight, or the winning team fight rather now, but at the end of the game, he's still on the bottom side of the map. Both inhibs are down over there, and he's still trying to create this pressure that the super minions will do on their own, in a way.
Right, and until that Afro flash play onto Laud and the follow-up by Stixxay, it really felt like they were struggling. I mean, it is a pretty annoying comp with like the protect the Caitlyn with the Lulu.
5 traps that you have to walk through.
But there was a point where the traps were down, and you think Darshan can let the super creeps kind of go on their own, swing topside to pressure the Caitlyn away from the traps, so that way your Rek'Sai can eat them all freely, and she can't punish with her longer range auto attacks from there. But he just stayed bottom the whole time.
Yeah, so some questionable decisions out of him as an individual. I now want to turn our attention towards Envy, just because we haven't spoken too much about them. Even in this loss, they did put up a good fight, right? Again, if you look at the inverse of what we were talking about, 4 kills going over at 14 minutes should spell disaster. They did hold it out for quite some time, but I have to turn a critical eye towards this Lulu in the mid lane, because this champion wasn't getting played anyway, and then we put in some changes that make her more support-oriented, still picked up in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much mid lane focus this game, because a lot of it was like there was like a kill mid that Envy got, and then they threw at the Rift Herald, and by that point you're not really looking at like the 1v1 matchup anymore, and it just didn't seem like it was very high impact. Obviously, with the Karma taken away, I think that I would rather have ran that comp with the Karma, but we're still determined to play that comp. So maybe that was a little of Envy's decision making.
I'm thinking that honestly, like you said, the focus of mid wasn't really there. I feel like the Lulu, if they didn't make that mistake at Rift Herald and they just like kept slowly sieging like they did towards the end of the game when, well, first CLG threw at mid, and then Envy went down mid, got mid, went top. Aphromoo saved the game. Then the game turns, and it's just back and forth. And the Lulu actually made it to where it felt like Envy had the stronger team fight, because Caitlyn could just run around, auto attack, like all that damage being done. Even when CLG was pushing to win the game, the trap stopped them. You have the Lulu shields, and you know, Laud was putting out a lot of damage, but it just wasn't enough.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, I think it was proven that Lulu with an ADC can still be very effective, if not more effective, because of the changes that were put in. It's just that the damage on her own isn't quite there, because you're not getting that Q pass-through. So having that kind of secondary threat that a 6-item Lulu could be at times back in the day with a Lichbane proc, not quite there anymore. I got to push us along to player of the game, going to Aphromoo this time around, 1, 2, and 11 on that thresh. You just mentioned he saved the game. That in and of itself is probably enough to get player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, he had 2 player of the game kind of plays. One was saving the game near that top inhib on CLG's side, and then he kind of won the game for his team. Later, once again, top inhib, but this time on the other team's side.
Yeah, I mean, that guy always impresses. His thresh, quite good. You'd probably put it right behind Bunny Fufu's, but very stellar play out of him. That's going to do it for the day in terms of games, so let's get a look at how the league stands following the completion of our Saturday matches. TSM and Immortals remain in first and second place. Cloud9 and Liquid are in a tie for 3rd place. EnVy stands alone in 5th, and just below them is CLG and Apex, followed by the bottom 3 teams, Energy, Phoenix One, and Echo Fox. Now for a look at the games in the store for you tomorrow on both streams. Hit up NA LCS 1 for Apex versus TSM and Energy versus Cloud9. Meanwhile, in the Battle Theater, NA LCS 2 will host a match between CLG and Phoenix One, with Liquid's match against Echo Fox after that. Gentlemen, looking at these games, ones that you're excited for above the rest, looking for a team to make a surge starting tomorrow?
I think for me, I was mentioning earlier in the day, Phoenix One versus CLG. I do expect CLG to win that series, and so what I'm looking for more is to see improvement out of Phoenix One. We said that coming into the second half of the split, it's basically the start to their season. We had heard that previously out of Echo Fox last split, and they actually did pretty well in the second half. So I think this is the kind of thing where we want to see just how far P1 can push it. Maybe not win, but if they look really good against CLG, that's a bright spot still for me.
I actually had a different opinion, but after watching today's games with P1 and CLG, my opinion has changed a lot. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing if CLG can actually crawl their way back, because I gave them a lot of benefit of the doubt, but then after watching that game, I'm not too sure. And P1 looked like they were getting their stuff together. So it'd be interesting if they could actually apply that against a better team.
All right, we're looking for cleanliness out of CLG. We're looking for continued improvement out of Phoenix One in those series tomorrow. Now, earlier in the broadcast, we asked you to hit us up on Twitter with photos showing your team spirit. Now, some of you answered the call, and we selected a couple to show on air. I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, to scoot to the side just as they come up behind me. First up, Eric Reyna. Yeah, I got to get out of here. Now, first up, Eric Reyna tells us there is no rivalry for him. He's the most passionate fan of all and supports all of the big names, TSM, Immortals, CLG, and Cloud9. That's a lot of indecision, though.
Yeah,
right?
that's just fanboying. You just swap out based off the #1 team. Come on.
No. But no. See, he supports TSM the most because he's wearing the largest article of clothing for them. I think that's how I would interpret this. He's a big TSM fan. He'll hop on the CLG bandwagon behind that, and then Immortals and Cloud9.
Where's Team Liquid, man?
I'm not sure if I should call this bandwagoning, or I'm not too sure. Kind of.
Yeah, Dyrus, are you allowed to be a CLG and TSM fan? Is that even like...
I mean, whatever floats your boat, man. I guess we can just say you support NA.
There you go.
Supports good esports.
That's what it is. Yeah, NA. There it is. All right, well, with a very patriotic message, next up, Thunder Nuggets tweeted out, "Lock in USA, USA, USA." Let's take a look at the Star-Spangled C9 swag. Boom, there it is. Oh, what an outfit, man. I love that. The full American flag, tank top, shorts, and socks, and then, of course, just the C9 pullover to pull it all together.
Is that C9 a C9 fan or a Mango fan?
Yeah, I was about to say, that just looks like Mango to me, man.
There you
just
go.
Without the beard, obviously.
Right, yeah, missing a little bit of that.
Evo belts.
Well, that's going to do it for our Saturday broadcast, so head over to LoL eSports, or rather, head over to facebook.com/LoL eSports if you want to catch a live Q&A with myself, Mark, and Dyrus. We'll get that started in just about 5 minutes, so get your questions ready, and we'll see you guys soon. Now, for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, or in 5 minutes.